All right, so how to double your productivity. It's a hard word to say, I said. How to double your productivity masterclass. With me, Christy Miller. A lot of you know me already. I'm the creator of the Do It Like to Up 90-day program, where I help my clients just evolve and transform into their desires in 90 days. This is kind of a good plan that I have that we're kind of breaking it down. They always step up their productivity. They always create more energy, aligned action steps that they take. So I'm really happy to share this with you. So again, I'm Christy. Some things that I've been loving lately is journaling in the morning. It's time for myself and my thoughts and things that I want to manifest. I've been really liking bike rides to the beach with my daughter. Kickboxing is a new thing that I started lately and I've been loving it. I just went to a class this morning and it gets me really excited and lit up at life. And then I also love trying new things. So this masterclass has been something that I've been wanting to do for a while. And I'm just like, you know what, just fucking do it. I have a life coach, a business coach as well. And she really just is like, okay, like try new things and just see what happens. And I'm like, yeah, because my mission totally is just to help 20 to 30 women this year do what they love. So if that means like small steps with being more productive, then I'm here for that. And I know that's why a lot of you are here for that too. Another thing that I've been loving to do is connecting and meeting and talking about life with women, like through social media. I find that really, really cool and empowering that we can talk. Like I have conversations with people in Bali, in Europe, and I get to have deep conversations with them. That like really lights my soul on fire. I love talking about this shit. I'm like, I don't like the surface level talk. I like the deep talk. Okay. So now with your journaling, I would love to ask you what has been something, and you can put it on chat or you can write it down to yourself, whatever you feel like is calling to you more, but just something that you've been loving lately, just because I love to start every class with positivity, like what's going well. And thank you for all the new people that just joined in. We're excited to have you. Ramanita says calming blend. I love that too. Oh, Ramanita, you could put kickboxing too. And thank you. So yeah, whoever just came into right now, we're just gonna do a little journaling exercise. Definitely grab a pen or paper or put it in your notes on your phone. We always just start off the sessions or the classes with whatever's going well. For example, Ramanita put educating and sharing essential oils is what I've been loving lately. I can really tell from just like watching your posts. You have so much fun with it. You have your, I think, boyfriend or fiance that joins you, and that's so fun. Definitely you can mute me if I'm talking too much, but I'm like, I just had a shoot with my husband and it was so fun. I love that. I love when we can make work fun. And that's like my mission too, is like making productivity fun and easy. So I'll give you a few minutes on that. What has been something that you've been loving lately? Something that sets your soul on fire, something that you've been doing really great with productivity or staying consistent. Because the more we focus on the things that is already working, the more that we can grow that. We can make it bigger. We can evolve that into the next level. I don't know if you guys can hear, but I have some lo-fi cafe music going on in the background for you guys. It's like some subtle stuff that gets you in the flow state. I love it when I'm working. This is like the jams. Okay, I'm gonna give you 30 more seconds to wrap up. All right. Looks like everybody's good. Okay. So now on that piece of paper, I kind of, since we went to the positive, I kind of just want to take you down to like, if you have to brain dump on anything. I love this exercise because it's kind of like a crazy vomit, like getting that shit out of there and just like putting it out where it's like, okay, now it's on paper, like something like maybe like times where you're just like, oh, why am I being so lazy right now? Or things that have been like kind of blocking you from where you want to go. Like I could write down, I'm not doing enough, or I'm not posting enough, or I'm not being there enough, or I'm on social media too much. I'm scrolling too much mindlessly, just like stuff where I'm just like, the things that you beat yourself up, just put on the paper. Procrastination. We all been there. It's okay. At least you notice it and you're being honest with yourself. Okay, 30 more seconds on that, just to get the big things out, just to smash that, just so you can let it go to create productivity in your life. I love brain dumps. They're so therapeutic. And a lot of times at the end, I'm just like coming up with solutions after. I'm like, okay, I'm bitching, I'm bitching, I'm bitching. Okay, now I'm creating a solution for this. Cool, nice. Okay, let's move forward. So now that we let go of anything that may be in your mind, so we can now focus on aligning ourselves with abundant, productive energy. Just because right now it may feel like productivity is this way, this way, this way, this way, this way. It's not like consistent. It's not flowing. It's kind of like, oh, one day I'm good. One day I'm all right. Oh shit, I got sick. Oh damn, I'm gonna just let myself rest, which is totally fine. But then it's like how to get back on that horse, how to keep it going, how to keep it moving. Are you ready to move forward? Let me know in the chat. Perfect. Heck yes, I love it. Yes, Moana, perfect. So today we're gonna be going over the 6 steps to double your productivity. I always have a hard time saying that. Productivity, use your time efficiently, even if you don't have much time, even if it feels like there's not a lot of time in your day. You're like, how's this 24 hours going by so fast? So first we're gonna look at setting your intentions, letting go of distractions, doubling down on productivity. Then it comes up with the creating a system and how to take action on that using the system that we create. Then how do we keep it going? Staying in consistent productivity flow. Yes. So setting your intentions, letting go of distractions. Step 3, double down on productivity. Step 4, create a system. 5, how to take action. And step 6, staying in consistent productivity flow. You know, when you're just like killing it and you're just like, yes, you're like, I did so much this year when I look back at it, just because I've been so on top of shit. Yeah. Okay. So step 1, this is going to be the basis, the foundation that we're creating that's going to be strong and powerful. This will uplift us naturally by just setting your intention. How many of you have either did like an exercise where it's like, okay, in the morning, they always tell you to set intentions, or yoga at the end, they're like, okay, what are your intentions for this yoga practice? So I kind of want you to get into that habit of setting your intention, not only for today's practice, but also in your mornings for your days to come. I hear my clients all the time saying, I just chose that today was going to be busy, but I was going to make it a great day. And that's what happened. When things came, they're like, they just took it and they're just like, okay, I got this. Like, problems happen, but it's the way that you deal with it and the person you're being. And it's all by starting with your intentions. It's creating that awareness. So let's set your intention by doing a little visualization. I know a lot of you have done this before with me, but this is going to be a nice twist on it. So it's all about productivity, all about the energy that we're using. So if you can, close your eyes, take a deep breath, let go of any worries, any thoughts, just let them float away. And then I just want you to visualize yourself as your happiest, most successful, most abundant part of yourself. This version of you that has already doubled your productivity, is letting go of the distractions, bringing in that purpose of like why you're doing what you're doing. Taking a deep breath in and out. Notice how this version of you moves and flows throughout her day. Is it effortless? Is it confident? Is it like you feel like you can do anything because you're creating so much and so much in an aligned way where you're like, wow, this feels really good to me. I'm not just doing 10 million things on my plate. I'm really doing the things that really matter and that really will make a difference. And notice if she could tell you anything right now, what is the intention she would tell you to take away for today and for the rest of your life? What would be her advice? And let this sink in even deeper with a nice big inhale. Notice this intention. It sinks in to your gut a little bit more. Notice how it feels so good just to check in with her. Check in with this version of you that's already done it, that hasn't procrastinated, that hasn't been mindlessly scrolling on Instagram or shopping online for the things that they don't want or they don't need. And they're filling that time with work that they love, with a life that they love, that they created by taking these steps and listening to your intention. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes, come back to the moment. This gives you a clear vision for your subconscious. That's why I love visualizations, because our head can come up with so many intentions of what we think we should be doing. That's why I'm like, always like, get grounded, get quiet, listen to those intentions, see what that version of yourself is already doing. So if you want to write your intention in the chat and share that, I would love to know. For me, I was journaling the other week and an intention came while I was journaling, and I was like, it's just to like trust yourself and what you know. Like, trust yourself, stop rushing. That was like my big epiphany moment. I was like, okay, like Christy, cruise. I need to take it a notch down. You love closing your eyes. It's so relaxing. Yeah, it is. It is. It's nice. I love it too. Okay. So everybody feels pretty clear on their intention of what it should look like. So now we're going to have to let go of things. So like we did with the brain dump, we need to let go of things in order for other things to flow in. So think about it. Your dishwasher, or dish rack. Your dish rack, I'm looking at it right now, it's full. So if I want to create more clean dishes, I have to take out the dish rack, right? I have to take out the dishes from the dish rack to create more. There's an old saying that goes, if you want to bring in the new furniture, you have to get rid of the old furniture, just because it gets cluttered. And that's how our mind is too. And that's how our life is, and our habits. Like, our habits are definitely, if we're letting go of habits that don't serve us, that's the room we can bring in the habits that do serve us. And that's all about awareness, which I love. So it could be something physical or mental, but to have this intention of whatever your future version of yourself said, what are some things that you need to let go of in order to have this outcome? If you were really honest with yourself. And if you guys have any questions during this too, pop it in the chat and then I can definitely answer any of them. Or if you're having a hard time, like thinking of things that you need to let go of. Ramonita, I love that. One intention of mine is that every minute of the day counts. I want to let go of having to keep up with social media. Yeah. That feeling of having to keep up, right? It's like, oh, it's like always racing towards it. Jazzy, I need to let go of the belief of feeling the need to struggle in order to reach the next level of my business. That's huge. That's huge. Thank you. Right? We don't want to have to feel like we're like struggling or giving something up or sacrificing to get to the next level of our business. Other examples that I have is if I want to bring in the productive habit of working out in the mornings, I might need to let go of like sleeping in or like how I needed to let go of sweets to bring in some nutritious foods in my life because I'm a sweets girl. Not anymore though. I've been doing good about that. So here's a video of Mel. She's one of the girls that did the 90-day program, and she talks about how letting go of things really helped her to bring in new things.
Instagram for my business and not just being like lost on it. And then the two other goals that I had was to start like actually prepping and cooking meals because I was working like I don't even know crazy hours all day long. I wasn't actually taking care of myself, and to get back into a workout routine, pandemic like slashed it. Say it again if I work out.
Didn't you say that you like forgot to eat sometimes?
Yeah, I would go like most of the day. I'd be like, I'm starting to get a headache. They're like, oh, so you eat now, like come on. So yeah, it definitely was getting me back to just living basic needs and giving myself the time and the like acceptance to let something go and to take on things.
Yeah, that's so beautiful. It was like, and you wanted to show up for yourself because a lot of people think they have this idea of what it means to show up for themselves, but it's hard for them to stick with it. Right. So with you like talking about this like discovery session, I was like, that's so cool because it brings me back to when you started in January, and it's like cool to see how it went. And you like really did show up for yourself each and every week. Started showing up for yourself more and more until we hit that 90-day, and it was like, what do you feel like was the hardest things to like break through or change a little bit to get to your goal of showing up for yourself?
It took me a while to like get into the routine. Like I remember we were getting close and I'm like, man, I'm still dragging my feet with some of this. And I would get one of them down really well, but I'd still be on something else. But I think it was like acceptance for me about being okay with creating more time in my life for meeting those goals. And just, oh, like your 1%, like I just had to keep doing the 1% to get there. And eventually, like you hit a turning point, and I did. And it was reaching towards that. I don't even know if it was the halfway mark or close, but
I love that video. Where is this? Yeah, so that was my client. She did really good. She kept up with her goals and staying productive. It was hard at first for her, but she really stayed aligned after. Mickey Alla wrote, my intention is to feel peaceful and purposeful in my productivity. Ooh, yes, yes, that is gorgeous. I need to let go of the feeling like I didn't do enough because there are more items on my list. Even though I just checked a bunch off, but it's still like that more. Is that the more feeling? Like, okay. Thank you. So let's talk about doubling down on our productivity and how to do it in a purposeful and peaceful way. So when we know that we let go of something, either mentally or physically, a lot of us it's just mentally, right? Just keeping up with things. We have to let go of that belief and we make room for new ones. So with your guys' one, I would love if you guys came up with a more, I guess for you, Mickey, it would be like a more peaceful and purposeful belief. Like maybe I am doing enough and I'm doing great. And Jazzy, maybe yours could be like, I don't need to struggle in order to reach the next level of my business. And think about all the people that are successful and really happy. And the people that aren't struggling, because sometimes maybe our mind is thinking like, oh, like our parents has struggled or people before me have like really went like to pedal to the metal to do things. And Ramonita, maybe yours could be something in the terms of, I'm doing so great on social media, because that's how I see you. I'm like, wow, you're doing so good. Like, I just love that you're showing up and you're creating really great content. I feel like I always tell you this, but I'm like, I just saw it after our session. So I was like, she's doing so good. But I want you to do it where it doesn't feel like you're on that hamster wheel, you know? Like, what would be a more purposeful way of saying it? Like, I'm doing amazing. Like, look at the progress I've made already. Look at the people that have been like, hey, what does this mean? What does that mean? Or what is adaptive for? Like how I said. Ooh, I get to show up and educate. Nice. Wait, how do I go back? So if we are being more intentional about what we want to create, more of it will come through. So instead of thinking like, I'm not doing enough, now we're creating this, I'm doing great. Like I'm doing great. And coming from a place from that, then it's like, okay, like from that place, I can feel like I can do more and not struggle and do it. Or it comes easily, it comes more peacefully. Because when we're not, versus like when we're not being aware of our negative habits or even our beliefs about what we're doing, we're going further and further away from our goals, which is not the intention that we want. And there are seasons in our life. I like to just think about our life in different seasons, like different chapters, where some seasons are harder. Like maybe there's a move, or maybe somebody's sick, or maybe you're sick, or maybe somebody has passed away. There's seasons where it's like, okay, like this is not the season, but it's not forever. It's just temporary. It's really can be as simple as this. We don't need to overthink things or overcomplicate things. The best thing is that you are now aware. We're bringing light to what feels like it's hard. So I like this quote, awareness is like the sun. When it shines on things, they are transformed. Okay, so we're gonna create a little, I kind of have to go a little bit faster on this just because I have more slides to go on. But this is like our milestones. So to the left, you'll see where you are now over here. And then to the right is where you want to be. So where do you want to be with productivity? Is it a feeling? Is it like a certain goal? Like for mine, my productivity was like working out in the mornings, starting off my days with workouts instead of in the afternoons, just trying to like enhance and take my workouts and health to the next level. So where I was currently, I was working out 3 times a week. And then where I wanted to be is working out 4 to 5 times a week. And then like, I really want to get to do 2 classes of boxing. I see people do it and I'm like, I'll be there one day. I'll be there. Because after 1 hour, I'm just like, oh, I'm so tired already. But I'll be there. So that's doubling my productivity. That's what it looks like to me. So I'm going to give you just real simple, just one goal, just so you kind of get the hang of it. So fill out where you are. I would start with where you want to be first with productivity. Maybe it's like putting a certain like 3 or 4 posts instead of an everyday post where it feels more aligned to you. Or maybe creating a more intentional list. Or Jazzy could be like doing aligned action for your business. Okay, and then you're going to go back to where you are now. So what are the circumstances now? Not to judge anything, just to see like, where are you currently at? Just so you can see where the gap is. So from now to there. You're so welcome. Love it. And again, it can be feelings like, I just feel overwhelmed posting this much. Or I just feel like it's not enough. So this is like the general idea. This is how I do my 90-day programs. We start from where you want to be in 90 days, where you are now. Creating a timeline also is like a nice bonus tip, just so it puts a deadline on it. So once you have the where you want to be and the where you are now, I want you to go into the halfway goal. Oh shit. The halfway goal. So right here, I guess I can't write on it. Maybe later I will, but halfway goal will be something in between. So how to close that gap from where you are now to where you want to be. So if I want to do a halfway goal for boxing, it would be going 4 times a week consistently. That's my halfway goal. Because if right now I'm going 3 and I want to get to 4 to 5 times a week, my midway would be going 4 times a week consistently. Okay. And then we're going to go to your 1/4 goal. So from now, just looking at where you are now and your halfway goal, what is the middle area for that? What's the first baby step you could take to get closer to that goal? We're moving in the right direction. So what would mine be? Making sure I stay consistent with the 3 times a week, because I've been doing pretty good, but some mornings I'm just like, maybe I don't need to. I'm like, okay, keeping that consistency, it's a building block, another building block just to add on to once I get that consistency down. I also like to tie in, like, how are you going to feel when you like do that first step? Or how are you going to feel? You're going to feel like really strong, empowered, like proud of yourself for doing it, sticking with it. Then we're going to move into the 3/4 goal when you guys are ready. I'll give you like, just wrap up your last idea for the 4th goal. Okay. And then we're going to go to the 3/4 goal. So just looking from the halfway goal to where you want to be. How do you close that gap? Or how do you know you're making right aligned movements towards that way? That would be me, like just doing 1 2-hour day boxing. Like that would be ultimate. Maybe just trying it out, seeing how, maybe I might like it. Maybe I might feel like, oh yeah, that's awesome. I did a 2-hour. I see people doing it. I'm like, that's cool. And now like my head right now is like, one day I'll get there. So actually implementing the steps, like, hey, just try it out, see how you like it, and staying consistent with the going 4 times a week. Those will be the building blocks for you. Cool. Everybody good? Need any more time? Good. Good. Okay, cool. So these are the building blocks. This is the visual. This is the roadmap. This is the milestones that you created. This is like, and we just keep it simple, keep it aligned with how your intentions are, and just work on the baby steps. So not looking at the whole staircase of where you want to be, but just looking at the first step, the second step, the third step. I feel like Moana, you posted that. I feel like you did. Maybe you didn't. Okay, so that's our system. We start small. I always start with what's the first baby step you need to do. Start comfortable. Even with your to-do list, I like to call them results lists. Scale it where it feels comfortable. I usually start like on my full days of work, I'll be like, okay, this feels like a 6 or a 7 when I look at my list, because I want it to feel like it's attainable and like realistic, as well as like exciting and not overbearing or overwhelming. Like I don't want to look at my list and it being like a 10 because I have like 1,000 things to do on there. I want it to look like a 6 or 7 where I'm like, yes, I got this and I can do it. And what I mean by, if you're wondering like what a 6 or 7 is, like if you could scale your to-do list or your action steps by a 1 to 10, 10 being like overwhelming, too much, like you want to pull your hair out, and 0 being like, it's nothing. Maybe 3 is like easy, 5 is like, oh, like I can do that, like midway. 6 or 7, I love that number just because it's like where the exciting parts are happening. It's where like I can do this. It's a little stretch for me and I can do this. So just knowing how to like gauge your productivity. Because one time my girlfriend called me and she's like, how do you get all your shit done on your list? And I'm like, literally, I make sure that it's not like 20 big things on there. I'm like, it may be like 3 big things and a couple of small things. I try to keep it simple, just like super effective. And it's things that are really attainable, because sometimes we think that crossing off so much on our list is going to make us feel better, but it actually gets us drained out. And like the next day we want to recoup because we're like, holy crap, we did so much stuff yesterday. Who can feel that? Okay, the next step, I love this, by the way. The next step is just like putting in your calendar. Having a specific space, creating that space, that open space, like, hey, on Friday, I'm free from 9 to 10. Like putting that in that space, that creates inevitability. Inevitable. It's inevitable if it's going to happen if you create a space for it. It's on the date, it's on a time, it's so specific. It's like, okay, because sometimes to-do lists, they just float. It's just like whenever I want to get to it. But when you have a time and a place and a space, that creates like thank you, that creates the whole like, okay, this is happening right here. If I show you, I have a paper from Target that has like times on it, 9, 10, 11, 12. I just cross them out by the time, just because I'm like, that's how I get like when I'm most effective, is like tying it in with the time. So that's something that I teach in the 90-day program. This makes it somewhere also when it's on the calendar, you can see it. It's something visual, like you're already like reminded about it. And then when you cross it off on your calendar, you're like, oh, I did that. And if you ever want to take it a step further, just do like time blocking. I feel like for me, I was so resistant towards that in the beginning, just because I was just like so used to my to-do list. But now with the time blocking, I'm like, oh, I just tried it. And I was like, oh, I just tried it. I might like it. And then I liked it. So I was like, okay, cool. Like I got way more efficiency done. How to take empowered action. So just notice who you are being. Remember that girl that we did a visual of like a visualization, that version of yourself? Who was she being? Like if you could describe her in 3 words, what would that be? I'll type mine in. So my version of myself that creates that productivity, that creates the time blocking, the letting go of distractions, and like bringing in more purposeful work, is she flows well. She's very fun and she's impactful. So just notice who you are being, or even relating it to your outcome, like where you want to be, that goal. Like if I went to 2 hours of boxing in a row, I would see myself as I see other people that are going to that 2 hours. I'm like, damn, she's a badass. Damn, I can't believe she does that. Like literally, I'm always like, wait, you're staying for this class? I'm like, didn't you just finish it? I'm like, wow, that's awesome. And just like connecting with that. So when you're doing your time blocking, Ramonita, you can be like, wow, like I am being this person. This is the person that I'm becoming. You're stepping in towards that. So see how it's a different approach from like just getting all this shit done and like having to like stick up with Instagram or the lists or your business. And you're coming from like this place of like, okay, I am that person. And this is how I do it. And then it becomes more magnetic. The energy just feels really good. And it's so much more empowering. So yeah, coming from a place of very carefree, powerful, and confidence. I love, 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 love. That's going to be a big tool instead of like just always pushing and struggling. And it just comes more of like a easy, flowy, effortless. Like this is just who I am. This is just how I am. It starts with your identity and your beliefs. Also coming from a place where it's already done. Like I got this. I already see myself doing a 2-hour boxing class. Like I already see it. It's already happening in my mind. I just have to like build that momentum to get there. And I'll post it when I do, because I'm gonna be like, yo guys, I'm a badass now. So when my client who has a goal of creating this specific system for her career, she handles it that like, okay. So one of my clients, she's creating a system and she is really embodying this. She sets alarms for her 3 words, like I am driven, I am humbled, and her other one is I am confident. And she sets alarms like in the morning, I think in the middle of the day too, when she feels like that slump. And then that's when she's like, she handles her problems with a smile and looking for a solution. When she told me that, I was like, yes, I'm so happy for you, because I'm just like, that is such a great approach to have it, just because you're changing like who you're believing about yourself, which is so powerful. So when you do this, you'll notice that least resistance, the better flow, and the more decisive you are. Moana says, flowing, confident, at peace. I like it. Numbers, the last step, is staying in consistent, productive flow by staying aware and attached to your why. So have you ever heard that the why is more important than the how? I know you guys have. The why is the thing that will keep you strong and consistent when you don't want to show up. For me, I went on 6 months of no drinking, and it was because I was waking up with hangovers. And in the morning, I was like, oh my gosh, like, I just wanted to take a nap. And I can't do that with a 3-year-old. Like, she's like, I want to play. So having my why of not drinking for, I think I just started with 3 months. And then when you try it and you see if you like it or not, and you're like, oh, I do like this. And then I did it for 6 months. I was just like, hey, okay, I love this feeling of like being more present with her, waking up more better. Because as I aged, my hangovers get so much worse. So I'm always doing this binge of like not drinking. Like this month, I just got a headache for 2 days. And I was like, okay, this whole month I'm not drinking. And my why is like just to be a better mom to her. Like some people can handle their hangovers, I cannot. Another example of staying attached to your why is like, who are you serving, or who are you showing up for that's better? Like, are you doing these posts to help people with their wellness? Are you doing these posts like when you see that why, you're just like, okay, this makes sense, like why I'm gonna do this. And maybe you don't have to do as much, but maybe the more aligned energy you are, the more that will connect with people. Like the more they see you having fun with it or being peaceful with your to-do list, maybe it's going to be even more beneficial. So this is the biggest tool you will have whenever you feel off track, whenever you feel like you're self-sabotaging. This will help you know your North Star. So whenever you feel like you're in those holes or those divots of like not staying productive, being lazy or procrastinating, this helps you get out of it, but you have to be aware of it. Okay, so some things that we recapped on was how to double your productivity during this day was start by setting intentions, letting go of distractions so you can let in productivity, putting a system in place, starting with a baby step, then maybe going to like 3 or 4 or 6 to 7, because habits build. It's not just like all the time in January 1st, everybody's like, I'm going to eat healthier, I'm going to go on a diet. And then by the end of January, I think it was like 60% don't follow through. it's because they're going so hard in the beginning. They don't have time for that muscle of the habit to like attach to the mind where they're like, okay, this is happening it's sustainable. You know, you want it to be sustainable. Then we talked about how to take empowered actions by who we are being, the version of ourselves that already has a desired goal, and how to stay consistent by connecting to your why. So here's a video of one of my clients that just was so good for the past 3 months about really being productive and aligned to his bigger picture. So his why, that was his true North Star. He really doubled his self-discipline. He let go of distractions that he partied a lot. He's a party boy. He was a party boy. And then he brought in the habits that pulled him towards his goal rather than further away from his goal. Like how I said, drinking for me, the hangovers was pulling me away from like being a good mom. That I didn't want to show up like that. So this is Taylor after 3 months of creating this new habits that he's implemented. He just tried things and then he just noticed how he liked it. Like he was just like, I'm gonna say no to like having my friend come over from Vegas to party. He's like, I felt empowered saying no. Like that was really great. And then he was going into his so he let go of this because his big goal was to become a real estate person and a realtor. So he just passed his exam on this video. I was so stoked.
Wait.
Sorry, it's loud.
Hold on. I see a smile on your face.
Close your eyes.
Okay.
All right.
Well, your paper.
Can you see it? Okay, open your eyes. I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but. Okay. Can't see it. I'll send it to you later, but.
Oh, wait. Turn it over again.
Wait, what?
Turn it over again. I can. So it says, you have passed this examination. Your score is 65.
No. My score is 87.8. That's. Oh,
wow.
yeah, that's good. So I did really well. That's the first one, and then the second one is the second one.
So that was today.
That was today.
What? Yeah, Taylor.
That's. I
Oh,
did it.
you did it.
I'm
You
so
did
happy.
it. Oh my god. I mean, your smile was like beaming.
But I was waiting. I was sitting in the seat for the longest time. I was like, I can't wait to look. And I was gonna try like be a sad face, but I couldn't help it. I was gonna try to see like, but I can't help it. I was just so happy. It was like it. I remember. So when you have to wait for the results, and like when you press proceed, it takes like 20 seconds for it to calculate the results. So you're just like sitting there like, my heart, literally I could feel my heart beating outside my chest again. I'm like, they said I passed. So I was like, I almost screamed in the testing room. So I was ecstatic. It was amazing feeling that I passed. So
Taylor.
no, can't believe I did it.
That's
All that
so
hard-
cool. Dude, all that hard work.
I was waking up early, going to sleep late, reading constantly over and over, test after test after test. Finally, put those books away. The feeling was amazing. I told you, remember the last time I passed?
He really stuck to his habits, like really good habits. And he transformed a lot of his bad habits into good habits. So it's just like letting go of what doesn't serve you and replacing it with things that do serve you. So that was a cool testament of what is capable if you really just stick and anchor to your big picture, create those small steps on a daily, like how you were saying, and just showing up as that person that already has their goal in mind. Where am I? This one. Okay. So what was your biggest takeaway from this class? and from what we shared today. Kina said my why. Yeah. I love the whys are so like, it's a good intention to have. Moana, how to better map out my goals with clear intentions. I love that. I love that. Getting quiet and listening to like, what do I really want? Not just what I think I want. Because our brain just is like, okay, like you got to do this, you got to do this. But when you really sit quiet and just really be like, do I really want that? Will that really create happiness in my life? Because with anybody that like has kids or nephews or nieces, you kind of just think like, I just want them to be happy. And wouldn't you want that just for yourself? But sometimes we don't give ourselves that permission to do so, to just be happy. It's like, okay, I got to chase the success. I got to chase the money. Mickey said, biggest takeaway is seeing the me I want to be and how to set myself up to get there. Energetic, empowered, enjoying life. I love that. Energetic, empowered, enjoying life. Ramanita, biggest takeaway with taking baby steps to my bigger goal. Yeah. Then it doesn't feel so hard. It feels more exciting and fun. Thank you, everybody.